Bizarre Brain Comics. Bum 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 dun 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 dun. The Super Friends. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hello, Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. And today we're here to talk about the Super Friends. And they've been the butt of a lot of jokes and inside jokes in movies and TV series. But yeah, Super Friends. This happens to be a 2001 reprint volume featuring several issues of the Super Friends comic book from the 1970s. And of course, most people know who the Super Friends are. Got Batman and Robin, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman as the main core of the Super Friends with their junior heroes in training. It says your favorite television super team is back. Yeah. I'll tell you a little bit about this. Okay, of course, the Super Friends. And the story we're going to talk about here is from issue number 6, 1977, The Menace of the Menagerie Man by E. Nelson Bridwell and Ramona Fradon. And the Super Friends was an animated series on ABC of a team of superheroes which ran from 1973 to 1985 in various permutations. And originally produced by Hanna-Barbera. I guess originally it was Filmation. And featured characters from the Justice League of America, plus junior heroes in training, Marvin and Wendi and Wonder Dog initially, and then they were later replaced by the Wonder Twins, Zan and Jaina, plus their super monkey Gleek, and who were all aliens. Now, since I think we've mentioned the writer Bridwell before, we'll probably go into more detail on him some other time, and have talked about the artist Ramona Fradon in my episode about Plop magazine, because it featured the story that she drew in that. So I'm going to tell you about Alex Toth. Alex Toth, he did the designs for the characters in the show, and plus he did some of the comic art. Plus he did designs for a host of other Hanna-Barbera shows, such as Space Ghost, The Fantastic Four, C-Lab 2020, The Herculoids, among others. And he was from 1928 to 2006. And he was a cartoonist and comic artist from the 40s through the 80s, and it worked for many publishers on a host of titles. He did a lot of intermediate work for DC, for example. And this is just good, clean fun, an adaptation, well, of the or comic version of the TV show. And these main characters were primarily from the Justice League of America. But and occasionally, especially in the comic, they featured other characters from the Justice League. But these were the core characters of the animated show. So let's go take a look inside the Super Friends. Dun 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 dun. The Super Friends. Small figures there. It's the only one I have of these bunch on this scale. It's, really only Wonder Woman figure I've got. I'd like to get some more, but she's relatively rare, except for a few that are expensive. Okay, and then here you see the whole cover. This is a beautiful painted cover by Alex Ross after the character designs of Alex Toth. Even all the positions are from. And so, beautiful job, beautiful painting. Alex Ross is so well known for his beautiful painted pieces for several comic companies. And he did, painted Kingdom Come, that miniseries for DC, and Marvels for Marvel, as well as a bunch of covers, as well as some interior stuff. Yeah, here you see Super Marv and Wendi, and there's Wonder Dog. Now, I said it's done after the work of Alex Toth. I'm going to take a little look here. Before we get into our story, I want to just briefly show you some of Alex Toth's work, because they did what I think was for the first issue. Did a little introduction here. This is walking into the Hall of Justice, which is only part of the Super Friends, but they recreated and used the facade of the Hall of Justice occasionally in Flash, part of the Arrowverse on television, and the kids are being led in by Robin, the Boy Wonder, and here they're meeting members of the Justice League. So there, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, including Flash, Elongated Man, Red Tornado, Green Arrow, Green Arrow's right there too, Green Lantern, Hawkman, the Atom, and Black Canary. And then over here, see they have some statues of some villains and other heroes, like Martian Manhunter, and the kids goofing around. Some of the auxiliary characters here, which included Robin, because he's not part of the Justice League, he's part of the Teen Titans, but he's also in with the Super Friends. And they're just talking. But you see, get a good example of the beautiful anatomy, a nice darks and lights, nice contrast, some beautiful thick line work. And it's hard to do thick line work that looks this good. He was just so good at this stuff. And there's Marvin imagining himself as one of these other superheroes. Now the kids in training. Yeah. Okay, that was just a little introduction to show you some Alex Toth's work. Now here is the original cover of the issue story we're going to be talking about. Super Friends, the Murderous Menagerie Man. And then there's the interior splash page. And then here it actually starts at a sporting event. And suddenly this guy walks out onto the court, funny looking guy, and he's gonna rob everybody. And of course the two teams that are playing are the Gazelles and the Cheetahs. So he uses suddenly appear Gazelles and Cheetahs. What the heck? Menacing everybody. And now you notice the rounded corners. Super Friends always did rounded corners on their panels as a callback to the shape of the television screens at that time. They don't look like that anymore. And this character, of course, this is Ramona Fradon's artwork. That, as I said, she has a lovely job. She's doing this is a good representation of both her style and the Alex Toth design work. And very lovely, nice, clean, slightly stylized, slightly cartoonish, just slightly, especially in like the characters of Wendi and Marvin and Wonder Dog. So everyone's tossing their stuff, and everything's being picked up by apes, which suddenly appear. Some chimpanzees. And Wendi and Marvin happen to be there. She uses her charm bracelet to call for help. There's Batman winging his way. He comes in, and he's confronted by the Cheetahs. and he does a little bullfighting there with using his cape, and it takes out the cheetahs. It's a real nice action figure of the Batman right there. Now, yeah, he tosses. So he says she has good fluid line work, fluid action. It's not overpowering. It's nice and clean, very slick and professional. Not as bold as some artists, which is not a negative, I tell you that. But very good storytelling. Now he kind of takes down the menagerie man, and suddenly all the critters disappear. And then the menagerie man disappears. What the heck's going on? There's Wendi and Marvin going in to greet Batman. And then they confer with other superheroes at the Hall of Justice. There the others are. And this time they're being aided by the Atom. As so many of the stories do, many of the other Justice League characters do appear in the in the Super Friends, also in the cartoons too, animation. And here they have on video. There's another. They get a call from Commissioner Gordon, and shows the video here of the Menagerie Man making another bold robbery using these animals. And I wonder how he and the animals disappear and come and go. Now, if you notice, I'll try to get a better view of him. And then Marvin notices something. This little dog here is right there, and this dog was right there, taken off in the at the game, his first appearance. And there's this little dog again, but Batman just kind of passes it off, which I don't think Batman would. He's too good a detective. But this is probably just some kind of coincidence. Kind of looks like him. And they confer. There's a really nice look at Wonder Woman. Actually, that face looks a lot like Kurt Schaffenberger. But now, one thing I remembered, wanted to mention, I had said before, but see, Ramona Fradon did this for many years. She was co-creator of the character. All of a sudden, I forgot his name. Many chemicals. I forgot. I've suddenly forgotten his name. I had it just a few minutes ago. And then she later took over the comic strip of Brenda Starr. Did that for many years, and she has very lovely work. And here they are talking, and they're going to go check things out. New possibilities, possible crimes revolving around animals or animal names. And the Atom goes with Wendi and Marvin. So here at this Palace of Gems, the Menagerie Man pops up again, and that's where Wendi and Marvin and the Atom were. Now, I wanted to point this out, that this character, aside from the leopard print thing on him, bears a strong resemblance to the Phantom from King Features comic strip, who I mentioned before in the Defenders of the Earth. And I don't think that's necessarily intentional, or it may have been, who knows. Now here, they see Menagerie Man pushing a button of the device on his belt, and boom, all these other characters, all these critters suddenly appear, and hot dog, what's going on here? Because the Atom suddenly reverts to his normal size and in his normal clothes. He says, "Great sons, I'm being enlarged, yet I never touched my size controls." So he sees a connection between his size changing ability and this Menagerie Man. So he changes back to his small size and attacks using his full strength to attack the Menagerie Man. Kind of really knocks him back. And then he makes all the animals disappear. And then he makes the Menagerie Man. He makes himself go small. Well, he's small. He's small. He can actually see him reducing. And then he leaps onto the dog. And he's so small no one can see him. And so the Atom takes off and follows him as far as he can. Then he reports back to Wendi and Marvin and the Super Friends. That's a real nice face on the Atom right there. And so in the context of the story, Adam says that yes, there's a connection between that dog and his own size changing ability. That the menagerie man has somehow developed a method of changing size similar to his own ability, and in the process here, he represents his own origin, how he found a piece of white dwarf matter and used it to learn how to shrink it, but things were unstable and exploded, and then they were caught in a cave-in with some students, and he used the gizmo to make himself small, and then he got him re-enlarged himself to dig everybody out before he would explode. But he discovered that there was, in that process, he had discovered a way to stabilize his size changing ability so he wouldn't explode. So they know that. So then they come up with the next probable attack of the menagerie man, and they're hiding at this location. And sure enough, there's a little dog, and there's a menagerie man, and he brings out some walruses, and out steps Aquaman. Walruses are sea creatures, and Aquaman can control the sea creatures. So when they turn to attack the menagerie man on his command, he puts them away and brings out elephants and hippos. Well, hippos are quasi-aquatic. They should have some control over them too. But Superman and Wonder Woman quickly take down the elephants, and Batman, Robin, and Aquaman take down the hippos without injuring them. Then the menagerie man tries to make a quick getaway, but that dog is confronted by Wonder Dog. And he stops the getaway. Good for him, Wonder Dog. Then, when they're at the same scale, the Atom takes down the menagerie man for good, right there. So all's well. All's well that ends well. And here they say how the Wendi and Marvin proved themselves. They can be superheroes in their own right, and this is kind of like their graduation. So Wendi, Marvin, and Wonder Dog are full-fledged superheroes and honorary Justice League of America heroes, but they have to finish high school first. That was just some good, clean fun. A nice callback. Some nice nostalgia. Now, one thing I wanted to mention here is that I gotta take a drink here. In the Super Friends comic, they often made slight references to events taking place elsewhere in the DC universe, other things that the characters are involved in or have recently experienced, and things like that. Now, they make mention of those in the Super Friends, but they never make mention of the events in the Super Friends comic in the regular DC universe. That's because they know this is more transient. It's good, clean fun. Some really nice artwork. Creative, well-plotted stories with tongue firmly in cheek. They're not as serious as the main DC Universe superheroes. But it's some nice artwork and this beautiful cover. There's a second volume when the cover is actually drawn by Alex Toth. Now I might have to cover that some more here. And later in this book, the following issues shows the last storyline featuring Wendi and Marvin, and in that storyline is the first appearance of Zan and Jaina and Gleek, and they're all working together in this one three-issue storyline. And then at the end of that is the end of Wendi and Marvin in the stories, because that was about the time that they brought the Super Friends back, but without Marvin on TV after a couple of year hiatus, and brought them back with these new characters. So that's all I've got. Hope you enjoyed it. I do. Please like it if you did. I hope you did. Share it with your other comic book friends. and subscribe if you haven't already. Please do. And enjoy reading comics. And remember, comics are art.